Well, good evening. Regular EV Dad here. John, how you doing? I thought we'd use this, and I think we'll call this the green glow of happiness. I'm just charging the car, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk about today's trip, my wife's feelings, not mine. She'd tell you I don't have any. And just the state of charging and things like that. So, for those of you that care about these things, pulled in at 16% or so state of charge. One problem with living at the top of the hill, I gain charge on the way to the charger. And we're pulling 125 kilowatts, so exactly what we would expect. And what is interesting is that I have pulled higher. I've actually taken a peak of 130. So I would be intrigued as to what circumstances created that. I'm very impressed with the, I don't think it really works in this, but the Electrify America app, which now tells you, well, to a point, the state of charge into your vehicle, although there is a little bit of a delay. That's fine for, I'm currently connected because the car is on. I'm not able to. It confuses the Wi-Fi being on as well as the 5G. We're going at a fair old whack here, and we'll see what the report says at the end. I am disappointed. The plan was to charge up tomorrow morning. In my very white middle class way, we were going to the farmer's market in Los Gatos tomorrow. And the plan had been to take the car to Los Gatos to the farmer's market and plug in at the Bank of America charger there. And it's out of order. All CCS chargers, so I think it's 3 CCS chargers are out. However, the 7.2 kilowatt level 2 charger and the CHAdeMO are working. What causes something like that? Software, hardware, combination. I do think 25 at 127, so just increasing slightly. I do think Electrify America have some issues. We do not see, and by the way, I'm not talking anecdotal, I mean you can actually extrapolate data from PlugShare. We do not see this number of issues from Tesla. And the one thing we know about Tesla is every single supercharger is the same. Consistency is your friends. I appreciate when you're ramping up different suppliers, but how many videos have you watched? How many reports have you read where the Signet's doing this, the ABB's doing this, the other one's doing that? Juggling and maintaining so many different systems with so many different vehicles. Looks like we may be getting an e-Niro for company. Over my shoulder. This creates complication with so many vehicles. We've seen this with the issues they've had with the Ford Mustang, and the fact that they couldn't keep the Ford Pass working past 250 kilowatts delivered, and then you were better off just being a regular. They couldn't integrate that and being a plus customer. This is software. This is simple stuff. It's not simple. Former product manager here. I've done enough software management in this lifetime to last me 20. 30 at 125. But to have an entire, we know there's power going to the system because the CHAdeMO is working, but the CCS is taken out. This isn't good enough. This is going to create obstacles because, as first gen people who are now, third gen people. If you haven't watched my other videos, this is not my first rodeo. I had a BMW i3, 94 amp hour, a Fiat 500, ordered a Tesla Model 3, didn't take delivery, rented one several times, enjoyed it, now own the ID4. I've adapted around these issues. I know to look ahead on PlugShare. I know to plan ahead. That's why I'm charging now and not putting my kid to bed. Tesla have an ecosphere. They own it soup to nuts. They're able to manage it better. And if Mrs. Regular EV experienced a complete shutdown in Los Gatos, she's just going to lose her shit. And she's going to go back to driving the Volvo XC60. That's the reality of it. Petrol works. It's everywhere. It's benign. It's not benign, but, it delivers. So they're going to have to address this issue. Simplification has to be part of what they're doing. And, Let me talk about the vehicle. Because I'm now 1,010 miles in. Love it. The ride is great. It handles fantastic. Speed, it is not a Tesla Model 3 performance. It is not a ludicrous thing. But, as a family, it delivers, it works, it gives us the space we need to do the things we do most of the time. 35 at 118. So obviously we're on a slow ramp down now. Memory told me we'd go 125 to 38, so we'll see where that's going. But it's not a disco, it's an ambulance. Welcome to the weekend before Cinco de Mayo on the east side of San Jose. The vehicle's great, but and the Android Auto is fantastic. The navigation, the inbuilt navigation system is bloody awful. The fact that I cannot, let me just put in Reno as a last destinations. All right, so I'm putting in. You don't need to see this, but I'm putting in Salt Lake City, a Holiday Inn in Salt Lake City, and it's calculating the route. Okay, we've calculated the route. What a surprise, it's going all the way on 80. And then it says, you're going to need chargers. I love the blue light that's flashing along here to tell me that it's doing something. The fact that it can't suggest to me where to charge, the fact that it can't tell me and doesn't seem to know where the EV chargers are. I mean, right now, where I am does not exist as a charger. It is not on the map. It's been here for a couple of months, and you would think 40 at 109. You would think that all the Electrify America connectors would charge points would be in. So it saddens me that it doesn't have the native, and I'm fine because between a better route planner and PlugShare and ChargePoint apps, I know where I'm going, what I'm doing. Mrs. Regular EV does not come from this world and wants no part of it. And this isn't going to bring her on board. She still struggles with the idea that you need an app to charge. On that point, and again, I haven't quantified this, but I did try earlier on today. I was told that it could use the NFC in the phone. If you had the app open, you could then just tap to pay with Electrify America app open, as we do with the ChargePoint app. No bueno, didn't do. It saddens me that they haven't worked with ChargePoint and be part of their roaming network, because if they did that, you could plug in, sit in the car, and tell it to charge from the car. Because that's part of the car, and you don't have to take the phone out and then turn the car on and da-da-da-da. Simplification is a must. What else? I think that's the other issue is the audio in the car. Whenever I try, I'd say 80% of the time, if I just try and adjust the volume, it tries to change the volume of the voice. It says voice up volume. No, I don't care what sound she used to talk to me. I don't think car tells me much anyway, because I use Android Auto. But then I have to flick between a radio station and Android Auto Spotify to change the volume up or down. It's very annoying. These glitches are ridiculous. So hopefully they'll be improved. Which brings me to communication. Volkswagen, you need to tell people when the next release is coming and what's in it. You have to make that commitment, because people are buying a new car, and these are all new cars, is the second biggest investment second investment. Only to a house does it compare. And you're asking a lot. We're taking a lot on faith. You also need to use this as an opportunity to deal with rumors, because rumors get translated, and if you don't say they're not true, they have to become true. So the fact that we're hearing, and Bjorn has mentioned this on his channel, and one assumes he has well-placed sources, that charging may go to 170 peak kilowatt. We're 99 and 48%. If you don't do that, that's going to reflect poorly. Not going to be a big issue for me. I bought the car as it is with regards to the charging curve. I made my calculations, for what road tripping we will do with this versus daily driving. This is fine. By comparison with a Tesla of 2 years ago, we all know that 150 is fantastic, but sustaining it only goes to a certain point. And so in that regard, this suffices. But either support the rumors or quash them. And that means let people know what's going on. Generic bug fixes happen. You've got to detail what's going on. You have got to get plug and charge working, so that Mrs. Regular EV doesn't need an app to charge. She should just be able to plug it in. She does not need an app to put gas into the Volvo. It just needs to happen. She needs to be able to see in the sat nav instantly where is the nearest 150 kilowatt Electrify America charger, because that is what she's going to use most of the time. I might choose to use a ChargePoint 50 kilowatt in the middle of northern thing, because it's the only choice available. But you need to be able to show. You need to show that happening. You need to show that in the interface, and it needs to be native. Apart from that, comfortable. Love the seats. Massage function's fantastic. Really showing your middle age there, John. Yeah. I'm squishy. I want the seat to be, support my comfort, support my squishiness. 52.93. It's good. So, sadly tomorrow we'll still go to the farmer's market, but I won't charge this at Bank of America from a much lower state of charge. It's a weird use case, but it's our use case. And I was doing it just to get just to have my own numbers, just to see where we were. I went to low state of charge but low battery temp, just to see how that affected it. 53.92. The next thing from myself, there'll be no content for a little while. Taking a trip out of town in my Ford Transit 350 passenger van. This is one time when we need to cover a lot of ground very quickly, and the EV would hold us back. I'm not saying it wouldn't be more comfortable, but it would hold us back. So the next thing for me will be delivery of the next big thing for me will be delivery of the trip to Klamath Falls, some 500 miles or so, and then it looks increasingly like the trip to New York from San Francisco will take place. So with that, if you have been, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get the numbers up to 100 so I can put a proper URL on the channel, and from there we'll see. I will add more content, including reviews of the chargers that I do visit, and that may include chargers that I'm not using, but while on the road trip up north in the transit. But other than that, thanks and have a good night.